Hello and welcome to the fourth installment of my Asia Games 2022 preview, I guess, where I kind of go over the top teams and what I think their lineup could look like in September. I've done Korea. This was all inspired because Korea announced their 10 men that they were going to go through to determine who their six-man roster is going to be. Um, and then I kind of went from there and said, well, what is China going to do? What is Chinese Taipei going to do, or Taiwan? Um, and then at the same time, I say to myself, Vietnam should be the fourth best team because Vietnam has its own region. Theoretically, it should have the fourth best team. And I look back and I say to myself, okay, well, let's look back in time. What was the fourth best team in 2018? Well, it was Saudi Arabia. Why was Saudi Arabia the fourth best team? Well, I look at the groups, and I see that China and Korea were in the same group, and either I forget which now, whether it was China, I think it was Vietnam, got screwed. So Vietnam ends up with China and Korea, and Saudi Arabia ends up with Chinese Taipei or Taiwan, and in the end, Saudi Arabia finishes fourth. And Saudi Arabia could be as good as Vietnam on in a series. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch the smaller regions play that don't even fall on the world spectrum of the League of Legends esports ecosystem. Um, but I think that's BS, and I kind of wanted to do this in a video tomorrow, and I kind of just like threw away my topic for tomorrow and how I feel about how maybe the Asia Games could really improve their system with some very simple adjustments. Um, but nevertheless, so I look at Vietnam and I say, okay, well, what does Vietnam have to offer for a team? And I look at the VCS. Okay, well, the VCS GAM Esports went 14-0. So you could theoretically send GAM Esports just outright. And I mean, honestly, that's probably the play. Like Korea, I mean, if Korea is going to send T1, and I'm not comparing GAM Esports and T1 in the way that they're both undefeated, so they're equals. They're not. We know T1 should be better than GAM Esports, but GAM did not lose to any Vietnamese teams, and even if they lost in the playoffs in the coming week to Saigon Buffalo or whomever, I would still send GAM Esports to the Asia Games because one series does not determine your entire split. Like, I mean, shoot, they went 14-0. Like, you got to respect that. And it looks like it's best of three, so you certainly have to respect that. Um, and I look and I say to myself, okay, well, you send GAM Esports, you send their six man. They had two junglers and two bot laners this split. They figure out what the heck they want to do. Obviously, I think they should go with two bot laners. I think Levi is the only name I really recognized in the VCS with a quick glance. Um, so leave Levi alone in the jungle. And then I say, okay, well, what do other regions have Vietnamese wise that could kind of throw a wrench into things? And first, it's S of M. S of M is Vietnamese. He has Chinese residency. Does that allow him to play in Vietnam? I keep saying I don't think so. I think he's not going to play for anybody. Um, I think he should be allowed to play for Vietnam, which is a whole nother thing, and maybe that will be what I talk about tomorrow. I'm actually debating on maybe just sitting at my desk or my table that I have and putting the camera on me and saying we're going to discuss how this could have improved, and how I would theoretically love to have a World Cup of League of Legends, but that's beside the point. So, SFM, probably not allowed to play. If he would be, honestly, he is good enough where I would say he has to go. And even though Levi is, in my opinion, probably the strongest player on GAM, SFM is one of the best junglers in the world. He's probably in the top 10 conversation. Definitely in the top 10 conversation. He sets metas at worlds and international events all the time. He is quite a jungler, so he should probably be allowed to play if they would allow him to. Neo plays for Dignitas in the LCS. He's a starting bot laner. We get into the weeds here because, okay, so the LCS is the fourth major region. It's definitely the fourth. Um, I said yesterday, or I mean Tuesday. Compare it to the PCS. Maybe the PCS is at its level now, but let's just say that he is better than what the Vietnamese top. I mean, the Vietnamese um, bot laners are. I mean, he should be better than him. But really, in the grand scheme of things, Neo is not like a top LCS 80 carry. He's in the bottom half. So, is it better to say, okay, well, Neo, I mean, he has NA residency, so just like SFM, he probably can't play. But if he could play, would it be worth it to split up the bot lane of Gam to throw Neo in? I would say no. I would say it's not worth it. Whereas throwing SFM in the jungle is worth it. SFM is very, very, very good. Where Neo is simply not. So those are the two Vietnamese players I saw in the four major regions that could, I mean, throw a wrench into things if they were allowed to. Like I said, this team should be the fourth best team at the Asia Games in 2022 in League of Legends. I mean, it's no offense to Saudi Arabia or whomever else. I just think that on paper, the Vietnamese team should be better. They are in a stronger region. A lot of them probably play on the Chinese server in terrible ping to get better, where Saudi Arabia really doesn't have that. Can't offer that kind of solo queue experience to improve their player base. So, looking at the board, there's not a lot written there because really, it's quite simple. You send Gam. And I'm not going to get into the weeds and details about Gam in this video because it's going to spoil my preview for MSI. Because I guess I'm saying if Gam doesn't make it, they get upset, and I still think you send Gam to the Asia Games 2022 in September, as of the moment, even if they lost in spring, and I would end up going over whomever plays, and we never learn about GAM esports specifically. I just don't want to do it twice, so I'd rather risk doing it not at all, just not going over them at all versus going over them twice. Comment down below if you have any opinions of your own on how the system kind of works for the Asia Games. If you think China and Korea probably should be separated, which allows Chinese Taipei, Taiwan, and Vietnam probably to be separated as well. So the top four teams are actually, in position to possibly be the top four teams. Like the video if you like this sort of content. Comment down below, like I said, if you have an opinion. Subscribe if you enjoy daily content. I'm thinking tomorrow maybe I'm going to have more of an opinion video, which, I doubt many people want to watch, but I think that's kind of what I'm going to throw up tomorrow. Stay tuned for that if you enjoy that sort of thing, if you think it's kind of interesting to talk about how a World Cup might look, how it should be formed, and thank you for watching this video.